Hello, I am hoping to show you today how to change a worksheet or a problem set into an interactive Google slide so that students will be able to manipulate it to show their work. The wonderful thing about putting your things in a Google slide is that if you put it in Google Classroom and you make a copy for each student, then the students do not need to submit or turn in their work. The work will automatically save into Google Classroom in your Google Drive underneath your Google Classroom folder. So that is one of the huge selling points for doing this. Okay, so I went to Great Minds and I found a worksheet that I would like to change into an interactive Google slide. I'm going to reduce the size of my worksheet so that it can fit all on one slide. You could make each problem a different slide. And so, you can do this however you would like. I would like to put this all on one worksheet, just like it is here. But you could do it either way. Okay, I'm going to snip this worksheet. It's probably going to be different on every computer. You can use your snipping tool. I'm on a Dell, so it is Shift Windows S. And I am just going to drag and get a picture of. So now I go into a blank Google slide, and I'm going to go to Layout, and I want to just have this blank. I went ahead and titled it what I wanted it to be titled. So when it's a blank Google slide, I'm going to click and I'm going to paste that image onto my slide. I'm going to move this all the way over to the right so that I can insert some other things over here. Now I do need to think about my directions because they're not going to be able to write how many. They're going to type how many or drag the numbers to tell how many. So I'm going to go ahead and insert a text box over, so it says count and write how many, circle a group of 4 of each fruit. So really I just want to kind of replace this word type, but I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go to Comic Sans because that's what it looks like where and so I'm going to put count and type how many, circle a group of 4 of each fruit. I am going to try to keep the directions as consistent as possible. Okay. Now since I want to put this over my directions, you are going to want to come to this paint can and change the background to white so that you will be able to put it over this, and I already can see I'm going to have to make it much smaller. No problem. So now that I have my directions where I want them, this is the part where you're going to have to freeze your screen because you do not want the students to move around your directions or the pictures or anything like that. So the way that you do that is you are going to come here and you are going to go to File, Download, and you want to download this current slide as a JPEG. And it came down here. Guys, it goes automatically into your downloads. Okay, so now I'm going to open up a fresh new slide. I'm going to go back up to Layout, go back to Blank, and now I want my background. I'm going to choose an image. So I go to Browse, and it was the last thing that I downloaded. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, that image that I just saved. I'm going to click Done. So now, okay, slide 1 is the one that will move, okay, and slide 2 is this will not move. The reason it will not move is because now it's saved as a background. So now I want to go ahead and insert some things for the students to be able to manipulate. I want to go ahead and create some text boxes so that the students will be able to just type the numbers right in here. Now remember, before I had them white. So I'm going to go ahead and make them transparent. I am going to change them. I'm going to make them quite large. I'm going to go ahead and change my font to Comic Sans, and I want to go ahead and center that. Okay? So when the students type in that box, it will go, it'll look nice and big. So now that I have it just how I want it, I'm going to go ahead and make a copy of this, and I'm going to paste it 5 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I can go ahead and I can just place my text boxes right over these so that the students will be able to manipulate and write in those boxes. They'll be able to count those and put them right on in. I'm almost finished. Okay, the second, I gotta find my little square. There it is, my little rectangle. Okay, now the second part of this is to circle a group of 4. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come up here to my circles. Now, I'm going to pick out an oval, a circle or an oval. And I'm just going to kind of test it right here. Okay, now I want my circle to be transparent. So I'm going to go transparent. I'm going to go to the paint pan. And I want it to kind of maybe have like a red outline. I might even want to thicken that outline a little bit to maybe like 2 or 3, kind of give it a little bit of depth. Okay, I'm going to test my circle to see if it'll fit over 4 most of the time. Okay, it's going to be a problem here. It might be a problem here. Okay, so we did have a situation where we had to teach students how to manipulate their circles. How to kind of move them if they need to move them. So that might be something you might need to teach the students to do. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place 6 circles over here. So again, Control C, and I'm going to paste that circle 5 times. You can even do, some extra circles. The reason I am doing that, I'm going to stack these circles on top of each other. So once I have my circles all stacked and ready, or have them where I want them to be, I'm going to go ahead and test out my worksheet. So I'm making sure that all of my little boxes have text boxes so the students can type, and it looks like they do. I'm going to make sure I can move my circles over the fruit. The only circle I'm really seeing that might give the students some problems is this one. They might have to manipulate the circle a little bit to tilt it. That is completely, I'm not sure how advanced you want to get with your students, but make sure your worksheet works correctly. And then I just press the back arrow to put everything back how I like it. So once I know my worksheet is going to be okay, I'm going to go ahead and delete slide 1. Okay, so I leave it there. I'm just being honest. I've had to go back and change my background a couple of times before. So I go ahead and I leave that slide there just in case, just in case I look at something and want it to be different. But now that I know my worksheet is okay, I'm just going to delete it. So now I have this worksheet that I've turned into an interactive Google slide. Remember, you can do the whole worksheet, or I could have made each little problem its own slide for the students to manipulate. If you did that, you could change that circle for those strawberries, and for those bananas, you could change the circle. So, okay, let me know if you have any questions.